Hey, this is Diana, the Midnight Rose. I have got some of my technical issues sorted out, but I told you I was going to start doing Monday and Friday readings. This Monday, it's the week ahead, and my style is to do some of the normal tarot cards, but my main cards, are the round cards because I do some astrology combined with my uh, with my tarot. Because I noticed that the round cards, they aren't upright, they aren't reversed. They point to a very specific direction. And I'm going to take this round card that sort of popped out at me. I can't shuffle too well. I have tiny hands. I think this is our card for the week, and I'm going to be careful to leave it in exactly the direction that it's already in. But I'm going to go ahead and do 3 clarification cards with my regular tarot. And I have no idea why there's a little hand on my screen. My hand is raised. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, there we go. It's gone. Okay, so let's do 3 cards for clarification of this card when we start reading the cards. And once again, as I said, I'm not very good at shuffling. I have little hands. I don't have fine motor skills in my right hand, but I do a weird cutting of the deck to get my cards so that it's very random, no matter how they're shuffled. So I'm kind of putting it on the screen so you can see what I do to see that I really did shuffle and didn't just pick out cards in advance. Okay, first card. Second card. And the third card. I've already done my LBRP for this morning, which is a term, if you're not familiar, of the Golden Dawn, lesser banishing ritual pentagrams, to kind of clear the space. Okay, so we're going to put this deck to the side. We're going to move these cards down in the proper place. Okay, so a little bit at an angle here. Let's start with the round card, and I'm going to be very careful to turn it over and leave it in its position. Okay, now this happens to be upright in this reading, but that is kind of pointing to the 10th house of the zodiac. So when I look at this, to me that says this is regarding your profession, your work. And people are going back to work after the holidays. It's like, oh, I hate going back to work. So that definitely resonates. And it's probably going to resonate with a lot of you. And I guess I should give the disclaimer, if this doesn't resonate with you, don't try to force it, because obviously this exact reading isn't going to apply to everybody. But if you're drawn to this reading or it shows up in your algorithm, there's a very good chance it does apply to you. And listen to your intuition when you're looking through your algorithm on YouTube. If something jumps out at you, you're probably meant to look at it, to read it. I know I follow readers also. I follow Witch Insight, which she posts pretty much every day. But not every reading jumps out at me. I go with the ones that my intuition tells me, hey, this applies. So, having said that, don't try to force it. But this is about someone or someone's who are having a lot of anxiety about work, about going back to work. And this doesn't necessarily mean it's justified. It just means you're having anxiety about it. And that is always legit if you're having a feeling. And I do read the regular cards right up because There is potential in any tarot card to manifest it in a positive way or negative way. So I really see them as both directions. Um, it's just the circular cards that I see as horoscopes. So we're starting with the King of Wands, which is kind of funny in this deck because it is a woman. But this is somebody who has a lot of fiery energy. Maybe you have a lot of Sun or Aries or Scorpio energy, a lot of Sun or Mars energy in your chart. But the wands are usually creative. And I'm kind of like, it feels like either you're a master of your creativity, or the thing I'm getting is you are really creative. You're a master of creativity, but something in your job is not letting you express it, is holding you back, or you feel it's holding you back. Let's see what this says. Obviously, I have my cards turned upside down. Yep. Oh, the magician in the second position. Wow. To me, this says you're really good at what you do. You're creative. You work magic. But your job is not letting you express that. And in fact, I think it's repressing you in a lot of ways. Four of Swords. Okay. In traditional Rider-Waite decks, this is somebody who is at rest. They almost look like they're laid out as if at a funeral with swords around them. So you had a little bit of rest with the holidays, but that is not enough. I feel this job is repressing you from your creativity, from the magic you are meant to do. Which is not saying run out and quit your job right now, but it is saying this job isn't working for you. And I realize to say that is one thing, to actually fix it is quite another, especially in this environment, in this economy. Jobs are not just growing on trees, you know. I mean, a lot of people try to strike out on their own as either an influencer or something like that, or start their own business or some kind of creativity. There is something that you need to be doing to get away from this job, whether it's working remotely so that, yes, you're going to have supervisors or managers, but they're not going to be breathing down your neck and creating anxiety. And the fact that if you're working at home and you don't have to commute, leaves more time for other things you're pursuing. The job you're in right now, it ain't it. It isn't cutting it. So let's do a few more tarot cards for clarification, because what direction should you go? What is the action you should take to try to remedy this situation? Because this situation is just not working for you, and you need to escape as soon as you can, which, yeah, easier said than done. One card to really show where you should head, what direction you should take. Okay. Four of Wands. So, well, this kind of implies to me it is indeed or something working from home. Some stability. There's too much drama in your current work position. I feel like there's someone or someone's, probably a lot of people, who are working in a job where they have to deal with daily office drama that is not helping matters. And it is time to get out of this situation as soon as you can. But do it thoughtfully, obviously. You don't want to, like I said, just run out and quit your job. Don't do that. But the Four of Wands is definitely, you're within your fortress. You're protected by your four walls. So if you've been thinking of, making the leap to work from home, this is something you should really think about. And in this week would be a good week to be, it's a new year. People have gone through reevaluating things, restructuring. If they've been wanting to make some changes or hires, this is probably a good week for them to be doing it, which means they would be looking for people. Why does my hand keep going up? Lower hand. So, but if you've been looking at some kind of work from home type job, this is where we're leaning. And, start the process of applying, interviewing, so forth, so that you have a smooth transition and you aren't left like in a take this job and shove it situation where you just walk out. Don't do that. No. But there's something creative, some kind of magic you are meant to be making. I'm going to do one more card for clarification. What kind of direction you should be going with your magic? There's something particular you're supposed to be doing, and starting a different job, working from home that's not draining your energy, creating anxiety will help you do that. But what direction should you go with your creativity? 9 of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards. This is like the woman entrepreneur who is growing her own garden. But not only is it one of my favorite cards, but so appropriate here. You need to be building your thing. You have the magic in you. You have the creativity. But this is just draining your energy. You need the rest. You need to do self-care. And you need to start creating your own thing. I'm going to do a roll of the dice just because. Okay, we've got the sun. You need to shine in is that the 6th or the 9th house? I'm half blind. And I don't know if the dot means 6 or 9. I think it means 6. Oh, so that's the house of the everyday grind. Health and your everyday grind. Gemini. Okay. It looks like I'm not the only one who's an aspiring writer. And as you probably are fully aware, writing requires daily work, daily creativity, but you have the ability to do that. Something with communication. So, the job that you're currently in is creating too much drama, too much stress. It is time this week to start looking for something else. There's something creative you're supposed to be doing, something creating magic, however you define that. Something, and for your job to sustain you, you need to be working from home while you build your world empire. And you need to give some self-care, some rest. But this is probably something that has to do with communication. So that is what you will need to focus on for this week. That doesn't mean that things are going to change overnight. It's a slow process. It takes time. But it's a new year. It's time for a new start. As the maid said in She Devil, up with this bullshit, I will not put. You're saying, up with this bullshit, I will not put. And you shouldn't. It's time to move on calmly, strategically, unemotionally, and it's sometimes easy to feel like, oh, everything sucks, but I don't want to expend the energy to change it. Change it. Change is hard. But the King of Wands here is saying full speed ahead. You know, even if it's just a little tiny thing at a time, one day at a time, one little thing every day, that starts building on itself so that you can escape that 9 to 5 hell. And you weren't meant to. So this week, maybe you made your resolutions on the first, but this week you're putting things into action. Fire and Mars get shit done. So I have a very prominent Mars in my chart and Sun. So that is your task for this week. So I will see you on Friday for the wrap up. I'm not quite ready to start doing the Wednesday readings. I still don't have my Angel Devil cards recommended by Damien Eccles, Enochian Magic. But I will be doing those kind of a north, south, east, west, I think is probably the pattern I'll do for those for a midweek reading. That'll be more looking at the big picture instead of specifically the week ahead, the weekend ahead. Those are more urgent, uh, more acute things to look at, but that will be more of a long-term picture. So I hope this reading resonates for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and I will see you in the next one. This is Diane of the Midnight Rose. Oh, of course, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. All these things really do help. And there goes my phone. But also, I have a website, themidnightrose.com, which I'm starting to create kind of magical, astromagical clothing and prints and candles and all kinds of things. I realize it's January. You just probably got a whole bunch of gifts for Christmas, so you're not really interested in that. But I am hoping to expand on that, start blogging. And until then, I will see you soon. Goodbye. Have a good week.